guys get the supportive community that you guys are. My name is Justin Thomas, aka the Job Father.
One
Uh,
second. Sorry.
so
Jimmy, are you capturing this? Are you recording? Perfect. Go right ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
no worries. Do you want me to go ahead and do the intro?
Yes, please.
Okay, perfect. Well, again, my name is Justin Thomas, aka the Job Father. I'm based here in a little bit outside of Atlanta, Georgia, in Gwinnett County, specifically Grayson. I've been a global talent acquisition leader for the last 15 years, focusing with companies like that focus on software as a service, fintech, legal, and healthcare industries. But that is as an internal head of global talent acquisition. 2 years ago, I stepped away and started my own firm, which is called Executive Inquest. There, we still focus on the same industries: software as a service, fintech, IT as a whole, and healthcare. And that's any position from the corporate function down to a executive assistant, including customer product managers, production managers, engineers, and so forth and so forth. So right now, that's the business to business side, and we're working with companies and different hiring managers and leaders of companies on the daily basis. On the other side of that, as the job father, I provide career coaching, and I've been doing that for the last year and a half. This year alone, since January, I am now, as of yesterday, at 19 people have landed a job out of my clientele base. 19 out of a total of 27. So far this year is going well, and that's a little bit about myself there.
This is awesome, and I love the title, "The Job Father." When did you take that claim? What was it that brought you to say, you know what, I got this. I know what people need, and I'm experienced enough to then claim this title. How did that go?
Just started from friends and people that I was helping. There was a young lady. Well, actually, she wasn't a young lady. She was a colleague of mine when I used to work for the Obama administration back in 2012. And within the political scene, anytime you wanted a job, especially in New York City, you would go to her. So we called her the fairy job mother. So that was years and years ago. About back in November, December of last year, I was helping a couple of friends and clients get jobs, and somebody just said, "Hey, man, you're like the fairy job father." And I said, "I like the job father." Uh, kind of ran with it. She's on the call right now. A good friend of mine, her name is Netta. I was meeting with her, connecting with her, just networking. And I was telling her about it. She said, "Yeah, man, you should definitely go ahead and do that." So since then, I've run with it. Somebody gave it to me and I liked it.
So going on in the past 2 years or so. Many people are really into LinkedIn, searching and so forth. What is something that is not so commonly shared by recruiters, by career advisors? We know to update our resume. We know to have a better picture of our profile. What is the items or tips that you could speak of that maybe we're overlooking?
Okay, well, specifically about LinkedIn, I'll start with something that is often overlooked, and that's your LinkedIn profile during your job your job seeking process is your resume. The sole purpose is for when recruiters, because recruiters, we source our own candidates. Okay, 85% of roles are filled by candidates sourced by the recruiter themselves. All right. Then you have a good 10% that are from referrals and internal uh, kind of promotions. And then the other 5% are just from people who apply. So, with that being said, we use LinkedIn Recruiter, which is a back end tool of LinkedIn that allows us to source LinkedIn for candidates. The main thing we search for is the job title. So once you target in on the job title you're seeking, your LinkedIn profile needs to speak to that title. Even if you're transitioning some way or another, the titles on your LinkedIn profile need to align with and match it. Because if not, you're not coming up in these searches, not
And
on the
that's
first
a
10,
big
15
toe.
pages.
That's like descriptions and skills and recommendations. What do you think about that?
So all of that is important, but the first key thing is the actual job title itself. When we type it in, we search for the job title of the role we're seeking. That's the first thing we type. We cast the net wide and then narrow it down. Then when we narrow it down, why it's important once you come up in those searches, that's everything you just said, the description and the detail of those positions. When you come up on our search, we see your headline first, which is why your headline is just important as your title. Make sure you include the title of the things you're seeking, the positions you're seeking to land. We see your headshot, your headline, and your most recent title, right?
And regards to titles, also many companies will have all sorts of names to the same title. Like for instance, manager level 3. That's only to that company. No one else outside that company would really know. So we would have to look for a more compatible industry name. Do you believe that to be the
Yes.
case? What would
Yes.
what would we use as a reference to?
So companies that typically use titles like that are things like consulting firms. So if you go to an Ernst or Young or KPMG, you might get a title as a senior manager or a senior consultant. But what is your actual role? Are you the business intelligence analyst? Then that's the role you go. That's the title that you go with. And I guess the simpler answer is before you start job seeking, you need to know exactly what title you're going after. And whatever that title is, that's the title you use on your LinkedIn profile. I'm not saying change up your resume. The goal of the LinkedIn profile is to get the recruiter to reach out to you for an interview. So you leave your resume the same. But does
Okay.
that help? Does that answer?
Yes, yes. And we do have other questions that probably from your, your introduction and your history that folks started coming up with questions. Don, would you like to ask your question?